Hi guys, welcome to another lab flip video. You're actually going to be doing two labs, 2 days in a row. One of the days you'll be doing a pulley lab and one of the days you will be doing a ramp lab. So we're going to show you both setups during this video, and the questions you have to answer in your quiz are going to cover both setups. But keep in mind they'll be happening on 2 different days, and you'll be exploring forces, of course, because that's the unit we're in right now. There are some safety factors, especially with the pulley lab. This is one of our pulleys. These will already be set up for you. They will have some weight on the bottom of them. They will have the string over a certain number of wheels. These wheels are called pulleys. There's some at the top and the bottom, and we'll have them all set up for you. Your job will be to pull down on the spring scale and measure how many newtons of force it takes to actually lift the weight to the level of the tape mark that is on the pulley stand, the bar here. So notice how I pulled straight out. I want to do that, and notice also that I have a hand on the base. So you'll have a lab group, and you need to have one person with a hand on the base, because these are very, very easy to tip over, and they are heavy, and we don't need anybody to get a smashed in noggin because they were being careless with the pulleys. So be very careful. I would suggest one person hold it, one person pull it, and the third person is responsible for reading the amount of newtons on the spring scale. Make sure on your spring scale that you are on the newton side and not on the grams. We want to measure force, not mass. You're of course going to have questions. There'll be 3 different systems: 1 wheel, 2 wheels, and 3 wheels, and you want to see if the amount of pulleys affects how much force is required to move the weight. So the weights will be identical, and your variable, your independent variable, the one you're changing, will be the number of wheels. And then your dependent variable will be the number of newtons it takes to move it. Shouldn't be too difficult. As long as you're careful about not tipping over the pulleys, we should be fine. So that's day 1 or day 2, depending on whose classroom you're in. The second lab is going to be using ramps. You'll have a different lab sheet, of course. And what we want to see here is if the height of the ramp affects the amount of force required to move the weight. So you'll have weight in a bag or tied on a string, some sort of setup similar to this. Again, using our spring scales. Again, making sure we're on the newton side. And you're going to drag it up the ramp and measure, look to see how many newtons it's taking to move it up the ramp. What you'll be adjusting, or what is your independent variable, will be the number of books. The setup I have right here shows 6, but your instructions will tell you to start with just 2 books, measure how much force it takes, switch to 4 books, again measure your force, and then switch to 6 books. You're going to want to make sure that you are following the instructions. You have a procedure very carefully set out here. You're going to do 3 trials, so you have multiple attempts. And then, of course, you'll be calculating the averages. Remember, to calculate the average, you total up all 3 numbers, divide by how many numbers there are, in this case 3. So if you have any questions about how to calculate averages, just ask. We'll help you with that. And of course, you're going to have some questions to answer and some conclusions to draw about what you learned. So both labs will help us explore force, and we'll have an independent and dependent variable. You'll be collecting data. You'll be doing some math calculation with some averages. And the main thing is to be safe. Pay attention to what's going on, and you should be okay. And the secret word this time is going to be octopus. And so you need to go take the quiz and make sure you take it until you get 100 on it, and make sure you have taken that quiz before you come to class on Tuesday morning. This will be Tuesday, March 27th. Make sure you have it done by then. Thanks for watching. February? Did I say March? Oh, good thing Miss Garcia is here. Your lab is on February 27th. So we'll see you then.